Hello, this is Prescott again, and today we're going to take a quick look at Dynamics 365 for operations. We're going to look at the human resources module itself and a lot of the functionality that exists. So without further ado, 365 operations, and we're going to jump into the modules list. And you'll notice that there's a human resources module itself. And so within the landing page, I've got several different workspaces. So I can look at personnel that are activities that may or may not be happening through the day here. So I've got recently hired workers, pending, existing. I've got some different KPIs and charts. I can look at an overall list of all my employees at this point. And obviously this is based on, I have security permissions set as a system administrator, so I can see everything. But typically you'd have to be part of the human resources team to even see this level of detail. So I have a global list here of all of my different employees and lots of different things that I can do with them. So I can look at the worker themselves, some personnel actions that may or may not apply to them. I can also manage payroll and tax, compensation plans that may apply to this employee, time and attendance, project information tied against the employees themselves. Retail, so if you think of point of sale permissions and terminals, this is where I manage that, as well as some general things that I can do, assigning cases to employees. Maybe an employee has a problem with attendance or something else. So cases is a way that I can sort of generically and globally manage lots of things, including workers within the system. So we're going to go down and just take a quick look here at Ahmed. And so I've got this core experience where I come into my user, and based on my permissions, I can edit them. I can create a new employee. But let's just take a look at what Ahmed's employee card looks like. So he has an employee ID. Maybe there's a personal title. They don't have a middle name. And I've got some different information that's applied, as well as their address that their home office or their office is. And then I also have addresses associated to the employee itself that I can add. I've got contact information, personnel, and then payroll earning codes that apply. So just some sort of high-level things that are associated. And then obviously once I come in to any of these core tasks, I get additional features tied to this employee card itself. So maybe I'm changing a position or terminating or changing the employment type from part-time to full-time. So lots of different things that apply here. I'm going to jump back over to the core module. So again, we had personnel management as a workspace, which is a logical grouping of activities versus lots of just small activities throughout the landing page. I've got a compensation management workspace, and so that workspace aggregation of duties looks at, there's fixed compensation plans, there's 9 of them currently, 3 variable compensation plans, there's no reviews pending, and then there's 5 employees without fixed compensation. So I can look at my fixed compensation plans themselves, and right from this console I can drill deeper into them based on my permissions. I can look at variable plans that are set up within the system, and then I can look at active results. And if I scroll across the screen, Power BI is also embedded, so I can see lots of different things associated to one of my employees here, okay, or to a group of employees. And then I also have the ability to have the concept of links that are taking me off to either different services within the system itself, or maybe there's state agency records or information. So again, one of the core workspaces within the HR module. Employee self-service is an important one that we all as users in the system have access to. And this is the concept of, you can see this is myself, Barry Prescott. I've got work assigned to me, so maybe there's some specific documents or something that I'm supposed to be doing, or even tasks generated by the system, like I have pick tickets or something that I need to do. This employee workspace itself, this employee self-service page, allows me to have lots of different information at my fingertips associated to myself. So I can look at expenses, so I can create or attach expense reports. I can deal with my timesheets. If there's next registered courses that I'm scheduled for, then I have calendar activities. I've got different certificates that I may or may not be required to have. My review information, some performance goals. If I had a lot of skills, which apparently I'm unskilled, which I'm okay with, then I would have these different skill rankings here. And this is important when you think about manufacturing and production itself, in that if I'm on a route and there's a specific piece of equipment, I may have to have certification. So before, when I set up the piece of equipment, I may have a requirement for certifications of an employee, and if I don't have that certification, I won't be in the list of approved employees to work on the equipment or in the route. So I've got some information about compensation, but then also I can look at my pay statements. So instead of that printed one in the mail, now I can actually see them here. And then some different company information. So the company directory, open jobs, and some questionnaires. So employee self-service, important for everybody. Manager self-service, so this is where I have the ability to manage my direct reports. Lots of different things associated to them. And the last one really is recruitment management itself. Now I can build workspaces specific, but these 5 come directly out of the box with Dynamics 365. So I can look at aging recruiting projects, application inbox as people are sending things in, open positions. So some core functionality. The system really is grouped by sort of categories. I've got workers, contractors, past workers, pending workers, employees with expiring probation periods, active workers, and worker user requests. I have actions that I can take with my workforce. I also have the ability to manage I-9s, also different types of leave categories, injury and illness. And so the goal really is that we're trying to track information about an employee, and so we've got lots of different attributes in the system available for us to manage. So loaned items, so things like laptops, cell phones, computers, any of those things we can set up as loaned equipment types and assign those to an employee. And then we have lots of different reporting embedded within the system. And as you'll see, these are all different core reports. Within Dynamics 365 itself, there's over 400 reports. So the HR module obviously has a lot of different functionality on the reporting side. I have the ability to set up my position types, review what open positions I may have versus inactive positions. I've got actions against that as well. And then I've got the ability to set up different jobs and templates and functions, and then also the departments that apply as well. I've got the ability to manage my entire benefit package, so my benefit packages as they may apply. And so I have the ability to come in, we'll let her load here. And so these are different benefit packages that are in the system, but we'll just open dental for an example. And so lots of functionality with being able to list the detail about a benefit program, who is applied to it, the term of the program, any of the rates or different things. So we have all this core capability as well. Let's jump back over to, so now we have eligibility for benefits. We've got our enrollees, inquiries and reports against benefits, and then the setup for benefits itself. Down below here we have our compensation, so our processes, our fixed compensation versus variable, our pay for performance or commissions, as well as eligibility. We've got absence record tracking here, recruitment activities, different competencies. So we talked about that worker and maybe some skills that they may have to have. So we have the ability to create certifications, training, special skills or classes and assign those to workers with terms. And so skills analysis is where we set a lot of that up. And then I have lots of different reports against the skills and certifications. And then I've got my overall setup, so skill types, rating models, skills, certificates, test types, instructions, degrees, so lots of things really trying to validate what the employee knows or does not know that may be important to their job. There's a pretty good process here for employee performance reviews and setting up templates. So I can look at goals and templates and categories that apply, right? And so measurements of how I manage that physical employee itself, or him or herself. So sales quota, sales increases, or units sold. And on the setup side, so as a system administrator, all the modules operate the same way. So if you have permissions, the last set of functionality within the module is the setup. And this is where I set up all of the core configurations for all those different screens and such within the system. So human resources, there is a lot of functionality here. It's wildly integrated through the system. So it's one of those things that customers tend to look outside of ERP, but I would absolutely say and recommend take a look at Dynamics 365 Human Resources. Reach out, talk to us further about the functionality, and let's see if it fits for you. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.